Dear me, 1 year ago you were about to board a plane into the unknown. No idea what to expect and no expectations whatsoever. This is the story that changed your life. August 29, 2022, also known as day 1 of your adventure, and you had no idea what you were about to experience. I don't really know what I can expect from my year. I just know that I have now been in school for so long and I want to do something different and go to college right after finishing high school. I want to see more of the world. I want to see what happens if I don't take the ordinary path. I want to see what people I would meet, what experiences I would make, and how it will change me for the better. But nevertheless, I'm really scared about what will come. I've never been this far from home, alone, not knowing anything about being on your own and getting through adult life. But what's the worst thing that can happen, right? On your first day, you decided to check out the city and were shocked. You started to realize that this world is completely different from yours, and you could have never guessed what suffering you would experience here. Not even really beginning, you already started to doubt your decision. After a few days of exploring and accepting your situation is really where the story begins. You were looking for a place to stay during your time here, not knowing what problems you were about to face. Well, turns out nothing's fine. So turns out we're not getting our apartment. Right now we're stuck in our Airbnb and are searching for a new apartment to live in. You kept looking and lived in a hotel for your first few weeks. Right now we don't really know what to do because everybody wants so much money of us, which we don't have. Meanwhile, it was your first day of language school, and get yourself to go there was one of the toughest things you've ever done, since you were so scared of something going wrong. I don't really know anybody there, and I hope that they speak English because otherwise I can't communicate with them. So I'm kind of nervous about that. But once you arrived there, you already found some people to talk to and all your worries were gone. After a week, you also really enjoyed going there and it felt like a little escape from your everyday problems. After school, you needed to somehow get something to eat, which was a little hard in a hotel room with basically no kitchen. You also still searched for a solution for your living problem, which weighed you down more every day. You then decided to just stick to an Airbnb and a day later you were about to move. Today, finally, is moving day. You were so excited to finally be having an apartment that you didn't even have a look at it before you moved there, which was a huge mistake and I'm sure you would never do it again. The apartment was nice, it was big and modern and perfectly fine, so you were really happy to finally have a home. We are now finally finished with moving in. I really enjoy finally having a home. But on Monday you were walking to the metro station for the first time and you will never forget what you saw on your way. Every day you needed to leave your house. From that day on, you were scared that you would experience something bad again. Every day living there, you wanted to go home and thought that you made a huge mistake by even coming here. You realized that taking a gap year is often romanticized by the mainstream media and you kind of fell for it.
Did many things.
Taking a gap year before university was the best decision of my life.
Today we are going to be talking about 10 reasons to take a gap year and how mine completely changed my life.
I'm taking a gap year. Wow. Spoiler alert.
You thought about all the things you expected from your time here, traveling, meeting new friends, explore new things, but in reality you spent the majority of time lonely and wondering why you even came here in the first place. But nevertheless, you needed to go on and try to stay away from your home area as much as you could. So today I'm gonna go to a selfie museum with my school. Again, school was like a little escape from your everyday problems. You felt like you were drawing too much attention on you with your blonde hair, so the next day you went to a hair salon to dye them all black in the hope that people wouldn't stare as much. On the weekends, you always made small trips around town to see something from the local culture, and every Sunday evening you already looked forward to the next one. And all of a sudden, Christmas was just around the corner.
I'm trying to bake some cookies right now.
Normally, you would have spent this time with your family, in the snow, but this year you were all alone, in the heat. And that made this period of the year really hard for you. But still, you tried to make the best out of it. And then, just one day before Christmas, you were getting ready to fly to Rio de Janeiro, where your parents were already waiting for you. Getting to celebrate Christmas with your family after all was the best present you could have wished for. They even stayed until New Year, and you all celebrated together at the Copacabana beach, which was a really cool experience. Your parents sadly had to leave you pretty soon, but you decided to stay in Rio a little longer and visit all the famous sites. Just like a Christmas miracle, you found a new Airbnb once you were back from Rio, and not even 2 days later you were finally leaving your current home.
Today is officially the last day here in my apartment. I'm actually really happy to move.
So you packed all your things again and said your last goodbyes. Your new home was a little small but still so much better, and from then on it went uphill. You didn't have to be scared when leaving your house. You could walk to school, you were able to go to a proper gym every day, and you had everything you need right around the corner. You started to see a clear path again and started to live the gap year you imagined for yourself. You started to travel around, and for the first time it felt like it was the right decision to come here. You started to like your stay here and fully enjoyed just living life and seeing as many new things as somewhat possible. For the first time you were excited to see what the rest of the year brings and decided to keep going. Not only did you slowly start to understand how things work here and got used to living here, but also did you speak Portuguese by now, which made staying here so much more enjoyable.
Minha língua materna é alemão e eu também falo inglês, mas agora eu vou tentar só falar português.
You realized that in 1 year you would be back home, studying, not having time for adventures like this, and if you don't make everything of your stay here now, you would regret it later on, so you kept on going. This time you were going to a beach nearby, and shortly after boarded another plane to a place you never thought you would be able to see, the biggest waterfalls of the world.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs.
But as much as you enjoyed your time here now, you still kinda missed home. So your next trip was about to blow your mind. You were on your way to the highest village in all Brazil, which funnily enough looked just like back home. There was one unbelievable event after the other, and when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, the ambassador reached out to you and invited you to stay a weekend in the capital city. Even though the city was a little disappointing, it was a trip you would never forget.
It's now our first morning here in the embassy.
Main events during the year were always a little sad because you were so used to celebrating them with your whole family, and now that they weren't here, it didn't feel as special. But on your birthday, your boyfriend surprised you with one of the coolest days you experienced there, and you couldn't have been more thankful. And before you could even notice, your 1 year was nearly over. But you had one last trip ahead of you, that you had planned for a long time and that will surpass anything you have seen before.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours.
But before you had to leave for good, you were able to fulfill one last dream of yours that you dreamed of since you were little, but never had the courage or possibility to do it.
Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I had.
And this was it. 1 year has gone by. Reflecting on this past year, I'm so proud that I haven't given up in the hard times, because otherwise I would have never experienced the good ones. I would have never become the person I am today, and despite it being this hard in the beginning, I would do it all over again.
Avocado.
Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Jesus just opened the door. One thing certain, I'll always be.
Ist sauer.
We are trying to mix. We are trying.
Das wundert mich nicht.
Yours.